I defend America, and I defend America's gun problem because it's my new home. And there, I've been shown nothing but love, respect, and a welcoming, open vibes. As opposed to here, England, my home for almost 7 years. Someone hit me with their fucking car and didn't even stop to say, I'm sorry. And I lay in the road, darkness closing in. My sunglasses had fallen on my face, but still, it was terrifying. Did anyone help? No, the closest I got to help were two Hasidic Jews on the other side of the road. One of them yelled, "Hey! You got hit by a car!" Which, if I do think about it, was somewhat helpful. I do not remember getting hit by that car. And then the other one said, "Are you going to die?" I quickly responded with, "No!" And then the first one said, "Get out your mobile phone and call the police. We're Jews. You're a Gentile. We can't help Gentiles unless they're gonna die on the Sabbath." And then they walked away. Yeah, I did. Looked it up, by the way. It's not a rule. So I got out my mobile phone to call the police, dialed 999. Very odd for me to dial 999, because I'm North American. That's our emergency number is 911, 000 for Australians, 112 in most of Europe, unless it's actually 221 in Portugal. It really shows, with the emergency numbers being different in a lot of places, that no community really wants outsiders. Do you know what happens if you dial 911 in England? Someone just picks up the phone, laughs, says good luck, and then hangs up again. And I was fucking nervous calling because my Hasidic Jewish friends had said, call the police. Now, I had an injury, I had a broken elbow, and it was a car accident. I didn't think I needed the police, I needed an ambulance. So I was a bit nervous if I said, "Hey, I need the police for a broken elbow," and the operator said, "You don't need the police for a broken elbow, you need an ambulance. Who told you you need the police for that?" Well, in this situation, my only recourse would be to say, "Well, the Jews told me." As it turned out, by the way, you're supposed to ask for the police in any emergency situation in London because police cars can move faster through the packed streets than ambulances, which is information that they should tell us, as opposed to just letting the Hasidic Jews know and having them spread it around their very closed community. Police arrived. Not the best bedside manner I've ever received. It wasn't a, "You're gonna be okay." It was just one officer from East London going, "You're fucked, get in the car." They drove me to Homerton Hospital, and they walked me into A&E. If you take anything away from this show, it's this. If you ever have the opportunity to be escorted into A&E by the police, take it. It's like being in the first class of a hospital. There's no lines. People look at you and just go like, "Oh, you could take my spot in the queue. I'm hurt, but I'm not so wounded, it's illegal." And they brought me to the desk, and they checked me in. I didn't check me in. They checked me in. And they said, "My name's like John Hastings." And then they gave my age, and they gave the type of injury. And then one of them leaned in and just went, "Oh, and he was dizzy, and he vomited." Now, I hadn't been dizzy, nor had I vomited. And I kind of reached out to stop him, and he went, "Huh." Which is the universal sign of, "I'm lying, stop it." And they filled out the forms, and they gave them to the orderly person. And as they were walking away, the cop who had lied just tapped me on the knee and just went, "Hey, if you're ever at the A&E, always say you were dizzy and you vomited. That way, you go to the top of the line." And I sat there thinking, "Oh, what a great way to hack the system, officer of the law." And I didn't wait long. I waited 5 minutes, and my doctor came out. Now, it wasn't the doctor I was expecting. I want like an old, grizzled man with an eye patch who just sort of comes out. He's missing an arm, but he's made his own. And instead I got like some 20-something, didn't even introduce himself as Dr. Carruthers. He just went, "Sup." He didn't say sup. It was implied that he wanted to say sup, and he'd been told not to do that during a performance review. He walked out and went, "Hello, I'm Ryan." And my initial reaction was just like, "Well, fuck you, Ryan. I'm here for a doctor. I'm not here to buy weed at a music festival." And I'm angry at myself for reacting this way. We're of the same generation. He's a millennial, I'm a millennial. I know the pressures that are on our shoulders being millennials. It's fucking tough being a millennial. Do you understand how hard it is to pretend Airbnb is better than a hotel? It's not better than a hotel. I've never been on a romantic getaway with my girlfriend and turned her, oh baby, get your lips ready for dick sucking. We are staying at a stranger's house. And he was a good doctor. He was on it. He was young. He was hungry. If I had been with an old, grizzled, 75-year-old doctor, your elbow's broken, we'll just kill you. Not him. He went over every aspect of my chart. As we're walking to radiology to get my elbow x-rayed, he stopped and went, wait, when were you dizzy? And when did you vomit? And I had to be honest and went, oh, that never happened. The police lied. And he went like this. He went, oh, they got me again. I've been bullied too, Ryan, come here. Fruits and vegetables, that's the key. Got into radiology. Took an x-ray of my elbow. It was bad. This is how bad it was. Radiologist took a selfie with my x-ray. Never gotten bad news so quietly before. And I was rushed into surgery. I had the surgery. And the surgery was deemed a success. Yeah, they called this a success. Now, this is not the elbow that was repaired. It's this one. I agree. That doesn't look like a success, does it? And by the way, this scar wasn't just from the surgery. They had to go back in because I got something called an excess of joint lube in the socket. Now that's a collection of words that I'm fine with if they're kept separate. But together, no thank you. Be like if someone said, quickly, get me my potato salad vagina bazooka. What are you doing? I'm winning a war. And the show was written for the Edinburgh Festival. It got inflamed in July. The Edinburgh Festival is in August. If you don't know that, well, I guess the center of the world isn't Edinburgh Festival, which to all the industry in here, I'm sure, are shocked. That was them laughing for the first time. Now, I went in with this elbow. You can see a bit of the remnants of it right there. Makes it look like my elbow has a nose. And I had to take an inflamed, swollen elbow back to Ryan. And I was like, what is this? And he went, you have an excess of joint lube in the socket. And I was like, just never say that again. And I said, what do we do about it? And he was like, well, I have to open it up and drain it. And I had to say, Ryan, can this wait until September? I have the Edinburgh Festival. I've been talking about it on stage. It's been getting a lot of laughs. And he said it in the most beautifully dry doctor way. He just looked at me, eyes rolling, just went, well, laughter is the best medicine. It's not a medicine. He had to go back in and do emergency surgery. But laughter is important. It was important for what we did tonight. If you guys hadn't laughed for the last hour, I'd have to get a job tomorrow. And it's not to say that I'm not qualified for anything else. I haven't done anything else for 14 years. I was a telemarketer for 4 days. Here's what happened. On the 4th day, a call came into my headset, and I went right into the pitch. Hi, it's John Hastings calling from and the guy at the other end of the line went, John, I don't want what you're selling. And how about you go fuck your mother? Now, I think you're all aware. I love my mother very much, and I feel she should be treated with respect. Now, when I was a younger man, with the balance and control of my emotions, if you wronged me in a certain way, I would react with rage and anger and threats. This was one of those situations. And I responded with, well, guess what, fuckface? I have a gun and your address, and I'm coming to fucking kill you. Now, I forgot my supervisor was listening in. He ran over, hung up the call, and looked at me and said, so John, I was monitoring that last call. And then he affected that beautiful middle management voice. Now, what do we think you did wrong? And I looked at him honestly. I said, boss, I don't think I should have told him I was coming.